the silence that we experience in meditation practice isn't just somewhere in our heads. The more that we dip into it, the more we find it in everything, and not just as some kind of bland negation of everything, but ultimately a bliss-filled fullness. And when we start to engage it as this bliss-filled fullness, life becomes enchanted and supremely magical. We need not chase enchanted and magical. The root of this transformation is really in going back and back and back and back, continually, repeatedly, into silence and presence. But we're not just a disembodied person who feels nothing. No, 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 no. The more we touch that space, the more lively things can become. The more full things are experienced. In some ways, you could think of it as being a little bit like being a kid again. If we were so lucky to have a good childhood, awe and wonder predominate when the mind falls back into silence for long enough periods of time, and the body has a chance to heal so many of the old tensions that have built up over the years. But as those processes happen, that profound aliveness percolates into everything and is ultimately beckoning us into true non-duality. It's beckoning us into a union between I and thou, self and world. You can think of it as not simply I and thou or self and world, but it's the presence that's recognized in I and the presence that's recognized in thou that ultimately is merging everything into itself. And that is the core, the main direction of a lot of the things I teach, whether they be meditation practices or whether they be explorations into appreciation, gratitude, and love. It's all very practical, and it can be done by anybody, and all very simple. But those simple incursions into presence through mantras or through somatic practices or through playing with appreciation, gratitude, and love, those small steps ultimately build quite a big corridor, quite a big pathway into that space that's already there. That is truly the core of who we are. So that's my invitation, is if you're interested in simple ways of tuning into that space, get in touch and jump into one of our classes.